We're in for an unusual treat this morning. We have a one-act play by Eugene O'Neill. It will take 12 to 15 minutes, presented by Arlinda. A play is a story told in the form of action and dialogue. Plays are usually presented on stage with lighting, costume, scenery, makeup, actors, and props. However, the interpretive reader of the play ignores all of these items and merely suggests the essence of the play through voice, body, emotion, and imagination. For the purpose of the play, Arlinda will not be looking at her audience. Please help me welcome Arlinda Smith with Thirst. Thirst, Arlinda Smith.
First, I'll set the scene for you. This is Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters this morning. The scene. A ship on the ocean has crashed, and the sun beats down mercilessly on the crew's inhabitants. A gentleman, a dancer, and a West Indian mulatto sailor. Shark fins can be seen circling right like that. And the three have been on the ocean for days with no food and no water and no help in sight, for they are off the beaten path. They talk incessantly to stop going mad. Now for an excerpt from the play Thirst by Eugene O'Neill. My God, the silence is driving me mad. Why do you not speak to me? Is there any ship in sight yet? No, I do not think so. At least I cannot see any. If I could only stand up, I could tell better. I cannot see from this position. I am so near the water, and my eyes are like two balls of fire. They burn and burn until they feel like they were boring into my brain. Oh, I know. Everywhere I look, I see great crimson spots. It is as if the sky were raining blood. You see them too. Yesterday I did, or some days. I no longer remember days, but today everything is red. The very sea itself seems to have changed the blood. Perhaps it is the blood of all of those who were drowned that night rising to the surface. Do not say such things. You are horrible. I do not care to listen to you. Ah. Very well then, I will not speak. My God, how my throat burns. Ah. Why did you ask me to speak to you if you do not care to listen to me? I did not ask you to speak of blood. I did not ask you to mention that night. Well, I will no longer speak of them. You may talk to him if you like. He does not seem to want to speak to us. I've noticed that too. When I asked him about the song, he did not even want to answer at all. Yet he speaks good English. It cannot be that he does not understand us. I'm afraid of him. That is foolish. It is the sun which beats down so fiercely, which makes you have such thoughts. I also have been afraid of him at times, but I know now that I had been gazing at the sea too long and listening to the great silence, and such things can distort your brain. Then you no longer fear him? I no longer fear him, now that I am quite sane. It clears my brain to talk to you. We must talk to each other all the time. Yes, we must talk to each other. I do not dream when I talk to you. I think at one time I was going mad. I dreamed the sailor had a knife in his hand, and he looked at me. But it was all madness. I can see that now. He is only a poor Negro sailor, our companion in misfortune. God knows we are all in the same pitiful plight. We should not grow suspicious of one another. All the same, I am afraid of him. There is something in his eyes when he looks at me that makes me tremble. There is nothing, I tell you. It is all in your imagination. Oh no, my God, this is horrible. To wait and wait for something that never comes. It is indeed horrible, but it is to be expected. Why do you say it is to be expected? How do you know hopes then of our being rescued? I have hoped for many things in my life. Always I have hoped in vain. We are out far of the beaten track of the steamers. I know little about navigation. Yet I heard those on board say they were following a course, but little used. Why we did this, I do not know. I suppose the captain wished to make a quick passage. He alone knows what was on his mind, and he will probably never tell. No, he will never tell. Why do you speak so decidedly? He may have been among those who escaped in the boat. He did not escape. He is dead. Dead? Yes, he was on the bridge. I can remember seeing his face as he stood under the lamp. It was pale and drawn like the face of a dead man. His eyes, too, seemed dead. He shouted some orders in his thin, trembling voice, and no one paid attention to him. And then he shot himself. I saw the flash. I heard the report. Above all the screaming of the drowning. Someone grasped my arm, and I heard a voice shouting in my ear. And then I fainted. Poor captain. It is evident then that he felt himself guilty, since he killed himself. It must be terrible to hear the screams of the dying, and know oneself is to blame. I do not wonder that he killed himself. He was so kind and so good-natured, the captain. It was only that afternoon on the promenade deck that he stopped beside my chair. I hear you are entertaining us this evening, he said. That will be delightful, and it is very kind of you. I had promised myself the pleasure of seeing you in New York, but you have forestalled me. How handsome and broad-shouldered he was, this captain. This is too horrible. What have we done that we should suffer so? As if one misfortune after another happens to make our agony more terrible. I'm sorry to have hurt you. You remember when the crash came? We were all in the salon, and you were singing a Cockney song, I think. Yes, it was the first one I sang in the Palace in London. It was in the salon. You were singing. You were very beautiful. I remember a woman on my right saying, "How pretty she is. I wonder if she's married." Strange how some remark like that will stick in one's brain when all else is vague and confused. A tragedy happens, and we're in the midst of it, and one of our clearest remembrances afterwards is a remark that may have been heard in a subway train. It is so with me. There was a fat, bald-headed little man, and he was on the deck after the crash. Everywhere they were fighting to get into the boat, and this poor little man stood all by himself. His moon face was convulsed with rage. He kept repeating in these angry tones, "I shall be late. I must cable. I will never make it." He was still bewailing his broken appointment when a rush of the crowd swept him off of his feet and into the sea. I can see him now. He is the only person besides the captain that I remember clearly. You were very beautiful. I was looking at you and wondering what kind of woman you were. You know, I had never met you personally, only seen you in my walks around the deck. Then came the crash, that horrible, dull crash, and we were all thrown forward on the floor of the salon. Then the screams and the oaths and the fainting women and the hollow boom of a bulkhead giving away. I vaguely remember rushing to my stateroom to get my wallet. Then I was on deck fighting in the midst of the crowd. Somehow I got into a boat, but it was overloaded and it swamped immediately. I swam to another boat where they beat me off with the oars. That boat too swamped a moment later. And then the gurgling, choking cries of the drowning. Something huge rushed by me in the water, leaving a gleaming trail of phosphorescence. A woman near me with a life belt around her gave a cry of agony and disappeared. Then I realized it was a shark. I became frenzied with terror, and I swam and I beat the water with my hands. The ship had gone down. I swam and swam, with only one idea, to put all that horror behind me. I saw something white on the water before me, and I clutched it and climbed on it, and it was this raft, and you and he were in it, and then I fainted. The whole thing is a horrible nightmare in my brain, but I remember clearly the remark of the woman in the saloon. What pitiful creatures we are. When the crash came, I also rushed to my stateroom. I took this diamond necklace and put it around my neck, and then ran onto the deck. And the rest I have told you. Do you not remember how you came to be on this raft? It is strange that you and he should be on the raft alone after so many had died for lack of space. Was there ever any others on the raft with you? No, I'm sure there were not. Everything in my memory is blurred. But I feel sure we were the only ones until you came. I was afraid of you. Your face was livid with fear, and you were moaning to yourself. It was the shark. Why, they are all around us now. When I saw them, even my soul quivered with terror. Shark! Why, they are all around us now. You lied to me. You said they would not touch us. I'm afraid. I am so afraid. If I lied to you, it was because I wished to spare you. Be brave. We are safe from them as long as they stay on the raft. We stay on the raft. These things must be faced. Besides, what does it matter? Shark or no shark? The end is still the same. You're right. What does it matter? God, see how still the sea is, how still the sky is. One would say the world was dead. I think the accursed humming of the sailor only makes one feel the silence more keenly. There is nothing that seems to live. Oh, how the sun burns me, my poor skin that I was once so proud of. Come, let us not think about it. It is madness to think about it, though. How do you account for being on the raft? You have not yet told me. How can I? The last thing I remember was a harsh voice in my ear, and then I can't recollect. There was nothing else. Stop! Yes, there was something. I think someone tried to kiss me. But no, I'm not sure. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe I dreamed it. Mad, mad dream. You said someone kissed you, and you must be mistaken. I did not, and the sailor did not. Yet I'm sure that someone did. It was not since when I was on the raft, but it was on the deck of the ship before I fainted. Who could it have been? Who could it have been, do you think? I hardly dared to think. I might be wrong. Remember that second officer, the young Englishman with the great dark eyes, so tall and so handsome that all the women were in love with? I too loved him a little bit. He loved me very much, he said. Yes, I know he loved me. It was he who kissed me. Yes, he must have been the one. He must have sent the raft when only you and the sailor were on it. He probably did not let the others know of the raft. He must have loved you to disregard his duty so. Yes, the second officer kissed you and saved your life. He was kind and brave to me, and he meant well. Yet I wish now he had let me die. I would be way down in the cold green water. Oh my God, must this be the end of it all? I was coming home after years of struggling, home to success and fame and money, and I must die here now on the raft like a mad